Welcome back to another episode of Import Modified. Today we will be installing seats. I got the seats in finally. We got the brackets. They sent this thing separated, so I have to attach the upper seat to the lower seat and make it all one. Looking at the instructions, it's pretty straightforward. There's just two fasteners here, which are attached to the base over there. And then there's a bracket on the base that attaches to this point here. That nut, and they'll be good to go. Just got to put the covers on them, a couple little screws, and then that thing is ready. It did come with adjustable sliders on the bottom, so we'll make all that work. I will probably have to go get me some fasteners to attach the brackets to the base of the seats, but that's not a big deal. My only complaint about these seats are I ordered them in suede and they sent them to me in leather. I don't want to go through the whole frickin' merry-go-round of getting these things sent back to get the suede ones. They probably sent me these leather ones because they didn't even have the suede ones. It is what it is. That's kind of the thing you deal with whenever you're dealing with eBay. Sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get, and that's my my only pet peeve about these damn things. I was kind of not wanting the leather because of the summertime. They get hot, but at this point, screw it. I'll take what I get. Anyway, on the back of them, they have a nice carbon fiber cloth design. Makes them look pretty good. And I chose these seats because of the lower base height of the seat. They sit pretty low. Hopefully with the brackets in, they'll still sit relatively low. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping in the end I don't sit high in the car, but that's yet to see. So we'll see here at the end of the episode if my calculations were correct on the measurements choosing these. So the base is right here, the brackets, they're pretty, let me get this real quick. They're pretty decent looking. They sit pretty low for the most part. And there's a bracket right here for the, I'm guessing that's for the seat belt. So I will retain the stock seat belts for now until later on when I do get a half roll cage put in and I can go with the straps. But it is what it is, and I'm not too picky right now. I'm just happy that we do have seats so we can move forward with this project. And let me turn the volume down on the radio because I just don't want it to interfere with what I'm saying. Okay, so we still have to finish the center console here. Get the slots cut out and everything for the switches and extend the cabling. I still have a little bit more wiring to trim up right there on the tunnel area. And then after that, we can mount the seats in and see what we got. So we do have quite a bit of work today to get this all done, so I'm going to try my best to knock this out. It is New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year's to everybody. So here's what the seats look like together, and they feel pretty damn good, honestly, because one of the biggest pet peeves that I have is the aftermarket seats being too narrow around the waist, and these fit me just right. The shoulder area feels just right. The seat feels really low, so far it looks like I chose the right seats, but we'll see more whenever I put them in the vehicle. And they look pretty good with the red stitching and everything. Now they're not suede, but that's okay. You know, they are black at least, so win-win there. I really wish I would have had them suede, but I'll probably be complaining later anyway about the suede because the dirt and dust sits in suede and it's very hard to get out. And then I probably will be complaining later because these will get hot in the summer, so you know, it's a toss-up, but I'm just glad I got them in. because it was a little bit of a fight to get these damn things delivered because the sender sent it to the wrong address and they didn't want to give them up at first. They were trying to get me to send a message to the sender and have him reship me the item once they send it back, and I was like, hell no. They're here in town, I want them now. So cool. I only got left to the only thing I got left is to put the covers on the little mechanisms on the bottom. And my only complaint was on the fasteners. They didn't provide me with washers right here, and that's not a big deal. I had washers, but they could have provided that. They didn't, so I used my own. Not a big deal. And I did use Loctite on the fasteners. It's always good to use Loctite, especially on something like that. You want to tighten it down once and forget about it. So it would suck to have them back out and get loose on you and you have a wobbly back area of the seat. So I went ahead and I used red Loctite on that so that when it dries up it'll be good to go. It won't back out. But cool deal. I'm gonna put these covers on now and I'll get to doing some things on the inside of the car, get the plate right, and then we'll get these seats in. And on these covers right here, they have slots right there, fastener that goes right here. So basically all you got to do on that is slide it over here and then fasten it down. Take care of that real quick. Alright, so looking at the seat brackets, I'm trying to get these put in. It looks like you don't have any room but other than using an Allen key bolt, so I'm gonna have to go pick some up. It looks like it's an 8 by 1.25 thread pitch and 8mm diameter is the bolt that I need for that, and the head should fit right in there. And then these are just gonna mount up like that. And then this piece right here is going to utilize the factory seatbelt latch. So I'm going to have to run to the parts store real quick and go grab some bolts. And then after I'm done with that, I'll come back. We'll get these mounted up. And then the seats will be pretty much ready to go for the car. But the seat brackets, I was looking at how they fit. That's how they're gonna fit down in there. Looks pretty good. Now they're gonna be lower because they're sitting on top of the bolts, but that'll sit lower. Rails will sit on that and allow me to, move the seat up and back and recline. So we're good on that. Now I know all this is gonna bolt in just right. So let me go ahead and get some bolts real quick and then I'll be back. All right, just made it back from Home Depot. Got me some more bolts and fasteners. It looks like I got the right stuff because it fits nice in the cradle right there, just long enough to do what I need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and mount these brackets to the rails. Looks like I'm having an alignment issue on these rails, and they line up fine up front, but when you look at the bottom, just a little bit off. So looks like I'm gonna have to make the slot hole bigger on the bottom right there just to get it to work. So looks like I'm gonna have to take this back off and get my little carbide bit out and start grinding away to relieve that hole. Alright, we got success. I got the brackets mounted on there nice and even now. So the seats are both done now, and I can work on the interior just a little bit more on the wiring. After I get that all done up, we'll put these seats in and see how they look. Alright, now we're going to work on the wiring again. We're going to get this all trimmed up, tucked out the way, heat shrinked, and nice and tucked out the way, along with this. And after that, we're going to extend some wiring, cut out the panel right here to put the switches, Right there. The 2 switches for the windows up here. Then we will be able to put the seats in and see how this thing looks all together. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's nice and tucked in. Good to go right there. So, okay, time to, I guess, make some, damn, I didn't buy a Sharpie. Oh man, that sucks. So I didn't buy a Sharpie. Well, my dumb ass forgot to buy a Sharpie. I told myself to buy a Sharpie whenever I went to Home Depot, and I was so fixated on getting the right fasteners that I completely forgot. And I needed that to draw the outlines for the cutouts on the middle plate, the block off plate, to make those cuts, but I'm not gonna let that slow me down. I guess I'll just extend the wires to about how far they need to go, and then after I have the wiring extended, we'll clean up a little bit on the flooring, and I will go ahead and get those seats mounted in here so that we can see what it looks like with the seats in, because I'm very excited to get those seats put in the car. And that panel's not going to really do much for me. Once the wiring's extended about where it needs to be, we'll be okay. Any excess I have, I can just spool it up and zip tie it on the back. So I think we'll be okay on that. Now, a good thing about the wires that I cut out, I can use them to extend the wires on the switches. So I can use this length right here. It looks about almost the same right here. So now we got all this extra wires that we can make it happen with.
Perfect.
Well, that took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but I got it done. Got these two right here extended. Ran through underneath the carpet. They're going to come up on the back side for whenever I want to place my switches. So those are done. We still have this one left to do. But to be honest with you, man, I'm a little tapped out right now on wiring. Kind of burned out on it. So probably just gonna go ahead and do these later on after the fact. But now that I got that done, got everything tucked away for the most part, I think it's time to zip tie these cables up a little bit and kind of clean up the floorboards and mount these seats in place. Well guys, it's getting a little late. It is New Year's Eve and I need to get home. The wiring took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but I don't want to install the seats all the way just yet because I still got to do some more trimming of the wiring in the back right there and get that cleaned up. I still got to take sound deadening material out, and I still got work to do in the back area, and I just don't want to be fighting the seats, having them mounted in all the way. But I want to get an idea of what it's going to look like in the car. I'm just going to put them in, and I'm going to use these nuts in the front just to kind of snug them down, and we'll get an idea of how it's all going to look once it's in there. So let's go ahead and take care of that.
Perfect.
Damn guys, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. I'll tell you what, it's starting to look like a race car now. It's tying together pretty damn good. But it still looks like an interior car with the carpets in the front, and that's kind of what I was wanting. You know, I didn't want the whole shelled out car, especially with all the foot debris, you know, like that right there. You know, you can easily just vacuum that out. It's easy to maintain, so I decided to keep the front carpets. And I'm happy with my decision, even though it is still all shelled out. It's a lot lighter, but I'm liking how the red stitching is matching the seats. Also like the cloth, how it's carbon fiber, looking like that as well. And you know, I'm still going to retain the stock seat belts. And later on, when I get me a half roll cage put in, I'll get some strap harnesses too. So whenever I'm riding on the road, I like to have a regular seat belt, and you start, you know, going track riding, because I do want to do some track days like circuit riding on this car. That's kind of why I built it, to take it, you know, little trips here and there. They got some tracks close by where you can do track days, and it's kind of the purpose I put this car together, because I've been wanting to have a car to be able to go to a track and just, you know, beat the shit out of it and drive it home. And these M3 engines, they could take a beating and go all damn day. So that's the reason I decided to go with the setup that I have. But yeah, man, this is pretty damn cool. All right, let's go ahead and do a little fitment test and see how well it feels. All right, yeah, it sits low in the seat still. That's really good, you know, and that's what I wanted. I don't want to feel like I'm sitting above the dash, and I'm definitely not. Here's my field of view right here. So the steering wheel is about even with my nose. Feels like I'm really low in the seat still. And granted, I still have the slider rails on there with the seat brackets, so I was pretty good in deciding on the measurements. Now the NRG seats that I originally wanted, they would have probably put me up above the dash, and that's a no-go. And they don't fit as wide as these seats do. And these seats, they fit pretty damn good. They feel like they were made for my body, you know. The bolsters on the side, they're not pinching me at all. They feel really good. And I'm pretty happy with my decision. So kudos on me. The steering wheel feels great. It's right there, my arm's length right here. And you know, I got the seat reclined back right now, and it still feels nice and performance oriented. So cool, man. Grab that steering wheel, take it off real quick, put it on, and if I can put it back on, there we go. Yeah, man, this is starting to tie in together. It's starting to feel like a race car more and more, and I'm just more excited and more than ever now to get this damn thing on the road. I can't wait to just start driving this thing. But the last ticket items that we have to buy, they do cost quite a bit, so I'm just gonna have to budget. Be patient, guys. I'm not no big YouTube star who's just got money to blow. This is coming out of my own money that I'm making, so. But you know, I really feel like I'm gonna be really happy with this car. It's a toy, and it feels like it's gonna be a really fun toy for me to play with. But yeah, I'm totally stoked right now. I think it's really cool, man. Let me go ahead and get out of the seat. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode. So we got a lot of stuff done today. Had some holdbacks, you know, it took me a little bit longer than anticipated, but that's okay. That's what happens whenever you're building cars. But anyway, on another note, I just got a text message from the guy who's been working on my 300ZX title, and he sent me a copy of the receipt. So that thing is being transferred into his name. So what does that mean? As soon as he gets that title, he's going to be signing it with the bill of sale, sending it to me so that I can transfer it into my name. So that headache is done. So that means that in 2019, RB300ZX build is a go. So I got parts already stacked up waiting to be put in. So we got good content coming on that. So that's what y'all got to look forward to in the new year. But on another note, I am going to try my hardest to get this damn thing done, because as you know, if you watched my last episode, what was it, the last? No, it was the episode before the last, how Aldo was hanging out here, and I did call him out on his 8080 GTR Skyline. So we will be racing him as soon as I get this thing shook down and everything. So that's going to be in 2019. We're going to go ahead and run that thing, and I really do think I got something for it. I think this car is going to do really good. And being that it's so light, we got something for that GTR. So stay tuned on that. We're going to be doing an episode on that as well. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys in the new year on a new episode.